Jump, 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 jumping to the left, to the right. Take it back now, y'all. One hop this time. One hop this time. Reverse, reverse. Cha-cha there, y'all. Goodness gracious. I've been busy. Anyways, hello everybody. It's Dean Spillabean, back on your screen, playing some Minecraft on the OCSMP server. But realistically, I've kind of been taking a break for a bit, mostly because I'm not really sure what to do on here, and the giant farm from the last episode was something that I thought of doing. I did it, that's pretty good. Now I got something else I want to do. And it has something to do with my gigantic tower over there. And I still find this kind of funny, just how huge it is. And like, there's my ice farm up there, and that thing's just massive. Anyways, what is this? This is my farmhouse thing. I basically just made it off camera. It's a really open area, sunroof at the top. But main thing is that it's used to house a bunch of crops that I got from my farms from last episode. Didn't really feel like time-lapsing it because I kept getting on and off about doing this stuff. But it provides a huge chunk of storage, more than I think I could ever use, but it's good that I have that here. And just a few small things. I kind of worked on this village that's nearby, making it a bit more hospitable. There's still stuff that I need to work on to improve, but there are villagers. I pretty much worked on trying to make everything villager-proof, so that they don't just randomly die, ideally. But probably over time, as I'm playing, maybe off screen I might work on this, maybe have a whole episode dedicated to working on this, I don't know. So what exactly is the plan that I have for that giant tower? Well, it's gonna take a bit of time, and a bit of explanation. Wait. What? How long has that pig been in a boat? No idea. So anyways, the giant tower. Let me go in real quick. Main thing that I want to, or I'm thinking on working on, is getting a giant parkour course in the top of this tower. It's basically just a giant jumping puzzle. It's just one of those random ideas I had of stuff that I could probably do. It's just gotta do it at some point. And I think I'm going to try and do that this episode. And see how that goes. Well, no better way to start than now. First things first, I'm going to need some supplies, like a lot of supplies. So for this plan to work, I'm going to need an absurd amount of gravel, an absurd amount of sand, I'm going to need an absurd amount of coal, and probably an absurd amount of crimson wood, but I don't have that yet, which is kind of funny for me to say because I've been farming a lot, but I do need to work on getting crimson wood. Also going to need a lot of blue dye, so lapis lazuli. I'm actually also going to use beetroot. Why do I need beetroot for this crazy build? That doesn't make any sense. Well, the whole reason why I want lapis lazuli and beetroot is because beetroot can get red dye, and I can use that to make purple dye with the blue dye. Yeah. Why exactly? Because I just want some purple blocks. So wait, is that what the coal is for as well? Yes, actually. Because normally, I don't quite like this, but can't really get black dye as easily. However, for the data pack I have in, we can use coal and turn it into black dye. And I'm going to need a lot of it, because I'm going to be placing a lot of concrete. And concrete needs gravel and sand, which I have a good chunk of. And now that I think about it, I'm also going to need a lot of glass, which I have a bunch of sand for, but I do have a bunch of glass spare. I might as well just throw some in the furnaces. No idea how much glass I'm going to need, but I think a full shulker box is a good starting point. Click, click, and that's all smelting, yeah. I'll probably be done by the time I need it, that's the hope anyway. You might have also noticed that I have chorus fruit and end stone as well. I'm not going to use the end stone for decoration, I'm going to use the chorus flower. And I'll try to show a more detailed thing later on. But the idea with what I'm trying to do for the interior, this whole build is based off of the tower from Oneshot, which is just a massive tower that stretches into the heavens. Which Close enough, right? Anyways, it's also kind of a computer, so I thought what would be a really cool idea is if I had the chorus flowers on the sides just kind of stretching up to the ceiling, kind of like a circuit board. And the only way for these to grow is if they have endstone below them, and time. Not as much time, but time. But ideally, I would have it going along all of the sides of the walls, and then I would have a really cool circuit board pattern going all the way up. Okay, while I'm waiting for that course room, I'm going to do something else. Down here at the bottom of the mob grinder, got a beacon. If I can access it through the little crack, and jump boost 2. I'm going to try and make this whole jump course with jump boost 2 in mind, which might make things a little weird. Because normally I wouldn't be able to get up here, but with jump boost, you can. So it's just like an extra block of jump. I wonder... It's a 4-block gap. Not entirely sure how it's going to end up right now, but imagine something like this where you have to jump up 2 blocks to get anywhere instead of 1. Might kind of help with the whole vertical upness. Oh yeah, this is what the chorus flower stuff's going to look like on the walls, just kind of odd zigzags. Although I'm going to try to make it in a way that it doesn't go outwards, just only one area. And something I gotta be a bit careful with when it comes to these chorus flowers. If I break the bottom block, or whatever they're connected to, they'll just all break. So I gotta be a little bit careful where exactly I do things. So, concrete powder is a little interesting, where it is a powder that acts like sand or gravel, whichever one you prefer. But it does have a really nice grainy texture. It's basically just colored sand. However, interesting other property with it is that if you pour water, it turns into a more prominent version of that color. That is to say, this is just a very black. When it comes to the game, I think this is probably the most black color that you can get. And the same thing goes for any of the other variants, where you can just get the most purple of any of the other colored blocks. So ideally, I want all of the walls to be black, so instead of white, it's kind of black. And same thing goes for the purple stuff, where I just want it black with a little bit of purple sprinkled in. I have absolutely no concept of how much black concrete that I'm going to be needing for this build. I know it's a lot, so that's about all I know. But no real way to know till I do it. So a little trick I'm going to try and use. So, I got my hotbar filled with just blocks. And ideally I'm going to swap between black concrete and purple concrete, and I'll eventually get like random stars. However, a cool idea that I got from watching a Mumbo Jumbo video, in that he basically did that with his actual mouse and it broke it. So to fix that he uses an auto clicker. So, oh gosh, it's auto clicking. So what happens? Every time I click, there's a small chance that it's just going to be purple. Small chance. Very small. And I'm going to be doing this for a while. I guess this can also be a neat way to figure out how many I need. Oh, we're almost there. Made it. So this is going to be a very small example. That might be too much purple. It's hard to tell. All the cool things. This is all basically just sand. I can put a torch underneath it and I can just get it all back if I feel like it. Anyways, time to math out how many blocks that took. So just counting the difference from my full hotbar to what I got now is about 187 blocks, so the height's 187. Now I've got to count the diameter, so 1, 2, 3, 29,172 blocks. I think that's a lot. That's also 455 stacks, or if I do some other math, about 17 chests worth of concrete powder. No, I do not have enough blocks for this. Well, I guess there's only one way to see how this looks. I'm just gonna finish this one corner and see how that looks before I do any more farming. Quick time-lapse time. bit of time later, got about a quarter of the wall done. Looking pretty good, but that costed me like all my sand and gravel that I had and all the concrete powder. So that's nice. Man, I forgot about the part where I needed like 27,000 of it all. Jeez. I've got some farming to do, don't I? Anyways, last thing I gotta do before I do other things is to get the whole thing solidified. Basically, all I gotta do is just pour water down and then solids it. Should be fine, but might take an hour or so for all the water to get done. I think by now my glass should be done smelting. Oh gosh, I'm gonna need like so much sand for this project. Like half of the sand I need to get is just for the concrete, and the other half is for the glass that I'm also gonna need. That tells me I'm gonna have to delete an entire desert. But before I do the insane time lapse of me just farming sand and gravel for a while, I want to check something. I want to see what this all looks like. So, how this is gonna work is that over time these flowers will wither for whatever reason, and over time I'm just going to replace them with working buds, and eventually they will grow all the way to the very top. How long that will take? Not sure. And as much as I might like a time lapse of that, that might take several sessions. Might just have to like micromanage being around here like every hour or so just to do that. I don't think I wanna. But the idea at least is that over time it will grow to the very top and then have like this interesting circuit board look to it. It'll also get harder and harder to navigate around here, so I might need to figure that out. So a few minutes later, I think this will be kind of neat. So I'm just going through, finding all of the withered chorus flowers. That one's over there. Yeah, those ones are withered as well. I'll just go through and replace those just to continue the random spread all the way to the top. And I've thought about this, as much as I might like to have a time lapse for this whole section, I don't think it works too well. I just want to get to the parkour jump puzzle stuff right now, or just skip over to start making that. But I still have this massive thing to make. But we'll see how it goes. Let me just do a funny time skip transition. Wow. Well, that's one desert I won't be seeing anymore. I need to figure out where else I'm going to get some sand. I mean, there's more sand elsewhere, but that's a future me problem. Time to make some concrete. So, what'd you do over spring break? Well, I just kind of sat around for many hours trying to get gravel and sand converted into concrete. That's what I've been doing over my spring break. Thank you for asking. And while I'm at it, whose idea over Emojing was it to not make coal be converted into black dye without like the use of data packs? Because black dye is like impossible to get otherwise. I think I mentioned this before. Basically, you need to use like ink sacs or wither roses, which are extremely aggravating to set up farms for. Or you can get a data pack and just convert coal into black dye. Obviously I like this one a little bit better. I ran the calculations, and I need about 16 double chests worth of stuff. And then I got like a ton of excess sand just so I can make a bunch of glass. That's goodness, this is a big project. Well, I better start it at some point. I guess. I gotta... Oh, gosh. Well, this is going to be my life for the next few hours. Not sure how long this will last, but I know it'll look cool, and it'll all be worth it. Excuse me, sir. How did you get up here? These guys are omnipresent. What the heck? Honestly, didn't take as long as I thought it would to at least get the void walls. I'm not even sure what this really is. Let me just turn off clouds real quick. Ooh, that looks cool. The whole voiding effect. Well, now I've got to get started on smelting a bunch of sand into glass. Didn't take me too long, which is an understatement, but a lot of this is not going to take too long. But main idea is to use it for a glass shield. Hopefully I'll get that done, get the chorus fruit flowers in. So I better get on that. The things I do to make gigantic builds is absurd sometimes, but only sometimes. Not all the times. Honestly, probably smelting all of these into glass is going to take longer than placing all that concrete, which took about 2 hours. But if I want to do the really cool crazy thing, that's just what I'm going to have to do. And let's see, before, after. Well, then this looked a little different. See, I took a lot of time, smelted a ton of sand into glass, and got a lot of dye, and I got this really cool voidy look. And it's a little difficult to tell, but if I go in between real quick, you'll notice that I tried to use the chorus flowers, as I mentioned earlier. But the more I got into this, I kind of realized I probably should have had the circle 1 block smaller, so that the chorus fruit would grow better. But now I'm thinking I'm going to do something a little different, because this is getting extremely tedious, because I have to go to the very top of those chorus flowers, get the pod, and basically place it back down. And I got to do it for all of these, which is why there's just random scaffolding everywhere. So I'm honestly thinking of doing something different, but whatever. I gotta get to the rest of the build, because I want to get this video out at some point. But in order to even get into that, I've got to move these chests somewhere else. I'm thinking on having just one more room that has like 4 staircases that lead up to the center. That's basically like an intermediate room that then has bubble elevators that just go up a little bit to the next area, and then you go do the jump puzzle thing. So I want to get ready to make that. And I think when I was making this, I miscalculated how many black powder I actually need. So I don't need this much. So I probably could have used that sand that I made to make the powder and used it for something else. But I got a ton of extra powder, I guess. Now I gotta think about what I want to do exactly. So slight frustration. I want this floor part to basically be kind of here focused, and then everywhere else is just full of water. But it doesn't seem like water flows anywhere when it's just in a half slab, so this might take me a bit. But Dean, why are you going through so much effort to get water on this area? Good question. This actually goes back to how I want to build this jump course thing, where it's basically based off of the tower area in Oneshot, which is part of an ending sequence. You kind of have to go to this weird area that has like a bed and a computer. But basically in the area that leads up to the final area, there's just a massive pool of water in there. So I kind of wanted to have something similar here. Even if it takes me a really long time, I want to do it. So a bit longer than it should have taken to get this. I now have kind of a water-ish floor. Now the other thing I want to do is get a ladder that goes up to where that beacon changes color. And right where that white one is where I want the jump course to start. So I've got to also get stuff for that. Oh yeah, this thing's supposed to be like the computer. That's not ready yet. And before I get any further, I want to try something. Because there is another data pack that I installed into the server that involves a cauldron. A cauldron filled with water and some concrete powder. Supposedly, throwing them into the cauldron should just convert all of it into concrete powder, or just concrete. Yeah, it works. That's nice. So now I don't even have to go through the whole process of placing the powder first and then get the water on the powder deck. However, I can't recolor them after? No, I can't, so I have to leave the powder. I say that because I'm thinking on using some red concrete for something. Whoosh. 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 Honestly, I gotta commend the guys that work over at the Vanilla Tweaks Datapacks. They are amazing. I think I mentioned I was going to use a bubble elevator just to get up here. I'm not sure on that. Am I okay with that? No. I think I'll replace the crimson wood with just some concrete. I'm still not entirely sure on it. And give me a moment to get the rest of this floor ready. And now, ooh, it's looking a bit more ominous. A bit more kind of how I wanted. So yeah, over in the game of Oneshot, there is like a section where you need to do something with the giant X. And then that sends you into the actual part of the tower. So now I gotta work on that. I do want to try and get it done, but I don't know how far I'm gonna get with this. I gotta accurately place. Oh gosh. Why exactly? Because I would like to have a bubble elevator up to the very top in the case that people like me might not want to do the entire jump course to get to the top. So I'm gonna get that done real quick and be back in a moment. I sometimes forget that I'm dealing with like build limit height. I love Minecraft logic. You fill a water pillar with kelp and it makes it solid. And now it's raining kelp. I love Minecraft physics. So now, eventually, whenever I get the jump course made, and I don't feel like doing the whole jump course to get to the top, just take one of the bubble elevators up instead. And now I gotta somehow figure up a thing to have up here. Some kind of floor. Oh, no, there goes that skeleton. He's gone. I gotta say, definitely looks really strange, because everything is just dark. And some amount of time later, I got the roof done. It looks kinda odd, although this whole build is a little odd, so it might work out, I'm not sure. Well, now I can comfortably just look out over the world. I also put in this, like, crystal in the middle. I don't know why I did, but I just felt like doing it. Back down I go! And it's kinda cool. Alright, well now I gotta... where's that one? This is the one part of the build that I have been dreading for weeks at this point. I'm gonna have to actually make the jump course and go through with the idea of building it. I don't hate the idea whatsoever, it's just one of those things that's like, oh gosh, I'm gonna have to spend a lot of time thinking forever to try and get it done. And this is also why this video has been delayed a few weeks. Well, I guess I've gotta start at some point. I want to get on with my life and do other things, but I need to get this done so that I can do other things. But I can do other things, it's more like I just want to be able to finish things. Gosh. I'm just going to time-lapse the rest of this, because this is going to probably take me a week, I don't know. But I'm going to try and just get this done as quickly as possible, get a cool jump course up and running. I'll see how that goes, I guess. Okay, goodness gracious, I finally got it done. I've never made a parkour course before, but I just kind of forced myself to make one, and now I've got one. Gosh. This has been definitely a very, very fun project. I really like it. Love it a lot. I'm gonna try and just go through the entire course and talk the whole way through. Not sure if I can. So, obviously got Crimson Wood platforms all over the place as like the main platform type. Oh, look, we got access to slime blocks now as a trampoline thing. Go that way, continue up on the platforms, another bounce into this one. Continuing on, doing some more platform jumping. Also, I wanted to put some of these paintings just kind of floating around, because, again, this whole place is going to be like a reference to Oneshot, and there was basically TVs floating around in an ending section, so just to mimic that, I had a bunch of just paintings floating around. I might add more up top, I just haven't gotten to that part yet. Now we got ladders, just another little mechanic in the whole jumping puzzle. Also trying to use end rods to kind of signify where to go, also just to light up the area. And a fun little thing to play around with is how black concrete works as another block here. And you can kind of see it here where it's very... oh jeez. That jump there is always a little difficult. Oh. Boing. So yeah, here's the dark platforms. It's hard to see those, and that's the intention, that they're just difficult to see. But we can continue on. Now this is where things get a little difficult. You just gotta believe that they're there, pretty much. And here's a broken bridge with some gaps in between. Little simple staircase just to not do any crazy stuff. Floating block, floating block. Oop. Up and up and up. Oh no. Darn it. Normally you don't really need to use Elytra for this, but I'm just using it so that I don't have to restart all the way. Oh, oh. This is also why I installed these water elevators. Just, well, it's a way how you can get up to the top without doing this whole puzzle, which is the main thing. Let's see, where was I? I was about here. Okay. So the water elevators are there, so if you don't want to do this entire puzzle just to get up to the top, you can take the water elevator, and also if you're doing the course, you can use the water elevators to get back to where you were. Oh, we made it that time. We'll squiggle here, jump off into that. Big jump, down, big bounce. Now we're on to the final stretch, just going through all of the various mechanics. Oh, no! Ooh. Almost there. Made it here. And then the last part is the most difficult, where the rest of it is black blocks. So gotta be really careful with where you're going. Oh, made it! I made it up to the top. Welcome to the top of the world, feel free to look around. And it really is the top of the world. Goodness. Well, now I have an easy way to get up to the top of my tower without having to use fireworks to get up here. Main one being the jump course, obviously, or using the water elevators. It's gotta be something interesting to see, like, there's Farmville over there, there's my hole all the way down there. Jeez, this is big. Yeah. Goodness. Almost. Oh yeah, I made it. got the highest location and the lowest location on the whole server. Pretty neat. Oh my goodness. I'm definitely going to add more of those floating paintings around just to add more random details like those. Oh, and there is water at the bottom here, so if for whatever reason you fall off, there is an option to not die. Although probably you will die if you're on this, just because there's so many objects in the air you might hit something, which is also why there's a bed there, so if you want to use the bed, there's the option. And another thing that I was experimenting with the black blocks is having alternate pathways. Just because they're difficult to see, and there's like a little path that you can go if you notice the black blocks. That allows you to go an alternate route. Which some of them are faster, but also more difficult. I won't go into detail on every secret path, because I want people who watch my video, who is also on the server, to also try to find these paths. Ooh. Boing. This is fun. But there's definitely some good secret pathways. Like there's a way to get up to here, which would allow you to skip sections of the course. But of course, it's a little hard to tell where the ow. But of course, it's kind of hard to tell where the shortcuts are, and that's also by design. But there are hints that you can do things in certain areas. Oh, jeez. But yeah, that's the jump course build. I also thought about this. I might have a separate video that's just me running around the jump course, just like a showing off video, and we'll do something like that. Well, that project took me like a month. Most of it was me just being like, I gotta force myself to sit down and collect all of the sand and gravel for the background walls. As well as just dedicating a few hours lately to just making the giant jump course. And you know, I think for my first jump course type build, I think I did a really good job with it. Oh gosh, it's nighttime, so Now the jump puzzle, now the whole puzzle is more difficult. Ow. Difficult as in, the black just blends in way more. Alright, I think that's just gonna end the episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed it, at least some amount. And you all have a good night. What was that? Not sure what that was about. But, you all have a good night.